What's going on, y'all? Y'all seen this last episode of the Housewives? Child, please, let's get into it. Alright, first things first. What the hell is Cairo up there doing? Cairo, Shereé son doing? I don't really understand what he's doing. Like, he is no model at all. It's not just, I just feel like models should have a certain type of swag and a certain type of presence and the confidence, and he does not. He don't even know which way to walk, so I don't really understand what she's trying to do or trying to force on this boy. Furthermore, I really do believe that Shereé is trying to use her son as a low-key come up. You know what I'm saying? I really do, because Shereé ain't really got nothing too tough going on besides this house that she can't live in. According to the report, she can't get no occupancy license to even stay in the doggone house. She wasted all this money buying, and she got this little raggedy book she trying to promote, which ain't nobody gonna buy. And so of course she got to have another source of income to try to come up, and it's not gonna work, because modeling is not for that little boy. It's not for him. He need to just stay in school and get his little degree and just move on with his life. You know what I'm saying? Marry a sweet girl and live happily ever after, because modeling is not for him at all. All right, now let's get into this Porsha business. What the hell is Porsha doing? I really do believe this girl lives on the planet delusion. I don't really understand. Well, to be honest with you, I think her problem is that her sister Lauren has had a baby, and now she is hell-bent on having a baby by any means necessary. Now, I understand that when you're a woman of a certain age. However, Porsha is wild. Okay, she is still really wild. She is still in the damn street. She is still doing what she want to do, hopping from one bed to the next, from one dude to one woman to one boy to one girl. She's still really super duper wild, and you cannot live your life, you cannot raise children. A lot of people do, with other people keeping them. At some point you have to be mature. And I always tell people that children are not for the lazy, the selfish, or the nasty. You know what I'm saying? You have to be fully prepared for a child, because children will take over your existence if you're not careful. And she's really too much into herself. From what I could see, she's too into herself, and she's still hanging the club. You know what I'm saying? And she's still very, very wild. So just like Porsha told her, girl, you need a baby like I need a hole in my hand. You don't need no baby. And like, who wants to have a baby daddy in this? Who chooses that? I don't know anybody who really sets out to say, unless you plotting, which I know I have a lot of friends that have plotted and got kids that way, which is so whack to me. It's really whack. Like, give me a break. Like, if you got to trick some damn body into giving you a baby, then something is mentally wrong with you. And so she drafted this nonsense called a baby nup. Y'all already know what a prenup is. So she drafted this baby nup with a whole list of rules and regulations that only benefit her, not anybody else. I don't know who gonna sign it. I don't know who she think gonna sign it without reading it, or sign it because she's just so cute and so beautiful that they'll just overlook all that and just sign this foolishness. But the girl crazy. She's just crazy. All right, so let's get on to Miss Kenya. Kenya has really nobody in her life, in her inner circle, that tells her the truth. Nobody does. They tell her what she want to hear. They listen to the foolishness, and they just let her do whatever. And so she walks around with this, I'm right sticker on her forehead, where she can just do little things on the slick slide and she can get away with it. I really don't understand why she just don't leave this little boy alone. And I always question women who are of a certain age and a certain tax bracket or status who only mess with young boys. Like, what do you have in common with them other than some penis? Like, you can get some good ding-a-ling anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really don't have to just resort to no young boy who you got to pretty much babysit. I know for me, I've always liked older men because you don't have to train older men. They already know what to do. You know what I'm saying? Versus a young guy who's just constantly it's irritating. And I don't want to babysit no grown man. So I don't understand why she feel like she can just play with this boy and try to manipulate him. And he do have a little bit of sense. However, he's trying to get Kenya to do stuff that she won't do. You know, and Kenya falls into the same category as a lot of the women that I knew growing up and as a young adult. When I was growing up in church, all of the really, really gorgeous women were single. And we're talking about single. No man, no nothing. And I could not understand why, you know. And as I got older, I became friends with this young lady who, you know, she's classically pretty. You know, she's light skinned, she has long hair, you know, that classically, you know, biracial pretty girl. And another one can't keep a man to save her life, and I just don't understand why. Like, you and it all goes by beauty is what do they say, beauty is skin deep or not skin deep, whatever, I don't even remember the saying. But anyway, the girl that I was talking about, she's accomplished, she has a great job, she's educated, she has soared. On paper, she is like the perfect woman. But as soon as she opens her mouth, you completely get turned off. You can talk to her for literally 10 minutes and be like, oh hell no, I can't deal with that. You know what I'm saying? And unless somebody sits this person down, unless people consistently tell her what she's doing wrong, she's going to continue to keep making the same mistakes with men, making the same mistakes in her life, and nobody's going to want to mess with her. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't keep doing the same behavior and expecting a different result. You know what I'm saying? And people fall over women that are so beautiful, they're accomplished, they're this and they're that, but they're crazy as hell. Or they don't do nothing. They just don't do. They don't wash dishes, they don't clean, they don't take care of nobody, they just dress and keep themselves up, and that's it. They don't do nothing else for nobody else. You know? And I mean, it's kind of sad because I really feel like deep down inside there's somebody for somebody. I don't care what you look like, I don't care what your social economic status is. I believe there's somebody for somebody. But Kenya, there is something, like, deep down inside, there's something wrong with her where she can't keep a man to save her life. She's been engaged multiple times and it's never resulted in her being actually married, and she's almost 50. You know, so you have to kind of look at her and be like, you gotta stop blaming other people for your problems now. You know, everybody fell all over Halle Berry. She can't keep a man either. She stay divorced. You know, and so we all have to, I think that teaches us that we have to stop being so superficial and just, I mean, I understand you have to be attracted to a person. I'm not saying that, you know, you just pick any old body that you're not really attracted to, but I'm just saying it should not be your first choice, your go-to when finding a mate. Her and Matt need to cut their losses and separate and just leave each other alone. You know what I'm saying? Because they just keep going back and forth. There's no resolution. Kenya don't want to change. I believe Matt can be, you know, Matt is trainable. However, Kenya is doing something to him. You know, she's doing something to him that's completely just messing up the whole relationship. And she won't admit to it. She won't say sorry. She won't, I guess because she feels that because she's so much older and the position that she's in, she don't have to apologize to him. She don't have to be vulnerable in that way. And that's fine. And he don't have to put up with your mess either. Right? Now let's get back to Todd and Porsha. Now Porsha just knew if she put on a little old skanky slut dress and opened the door with open arms, that Todd was just gonna fall for the okie doke and sign that damn paper, and she can go up and pop up pregnant and just live happily ever after. And seeing what kind of guy Todd is, even though he's kind of laid back and he's not too boisterous, you know, in his personality or whatever, he works in government, you know, or he worked in government. So you can't really be too damn dumb to work in government. Anybody that works in any type of professional field should know not to sign no written document without fully reading it first. And I don't even think Porsha even knew how stupid that damn document was until he started reading the paper out loud. What man in his right mind is gonna give your ass 110% control of any situation? And the thing that kind of solidified my opinion of her being very, very immature and completely unprepared to have a child was when she says, I want to be able to put our child on Instagram. What the hell does putting your child on Instagram have to do with any freaking thing? That's where her mind is at. I want to be able to put our child on Instagram. What the girl? Like, you still 15. You still 15. You still a child. And it's just like, it's ridiculous, you know. And I really, really felt like she insulted Todd's intelligence. She insulted his intelligence, and she overestimated his demeanor and his personality. And she honestly thought that with that Kool-Aid smile, that weaved and breast implants into the ass, that he was just going to sign that damn paper and everything. You know, talking about, oh, if she were to girl, get out of here. And furthermore, I don't even understand why she's going through all this rigmarole. We are all in 2017. We all know you do not need a man to have a child. They have places called sperm banks where you can buy your sperm, okay? You can buy a sperm. You know, you can have it inseminated. You can get IVF, which she clearly can afford. She could afford all of those things. But she rather try to trick some damn body into giving her a baby where she could have full control and control their... No, boo. You ain't that cute. Ain't that much fine in the world for a person to just sit up there and sign some damn paper, and then you go off and do what the hell you want to do, and then he gets jammed because that document did not benefit him in any way. All it did was demand. Girl, get out of here. You know? And he made it very clear. You know, if this document, me signing this document, is the determination for us being together, well, it will be our loss, and I will just go about my business. He was not mean to her, but he had to let her know, I'm not signing this paper, and if you don't want to be with me based on me signing this damn paper, then that's it. You know, who has time for that foolishness? She thought she was being damn smart, but she ain't smart. You can't fake smart, you know, with somebody that's smarter than you. You know, I don't know what's going to happen with this situation, but clearly they're not together anymore, I don't believe. And he quit his job for this girl. And that's dumb on his damn part, because he should have reevaluated. If you didn't see a future with this girl, you should not have put yourself out there like that. You know, he gave up his career, which I don't know how long he had, you know, but he did. That should have been enough for her to fall back and just, you know, ride it out to see what will happen. You know, but when you're dealing with an immature person and a selfish person, it's just crazy. So yeah, X that thing. X that baby thing. Alright, so now let's talk about Miss Phaedra, honey. Now, to be quite honest with you, I don't even understand why she's entertaining Johnny. And I know why. She low-key trying to get back at Kenya. Because let me tell you something, if Phaedra and Kenya were friends, and Johnny would have walked in her office, she would have politely told him that he did not have a case, or she could not help him, and she would have sent him on his way, and he would have had to find his own referral. But the fact that her and Candy have a falling out and they're no longer friends, she's continuously entertaining this boy and his nonsense. Now, he may have a case, but that don't have nothing to do with you. If you're really trying to stay neutral in a situation, you completely obliterate your involvement, okay? You don't have no involvement, whether it's directly or indirectly. You don't have nothing to do with the situation. But people like Phaedra, you have to be very, very careful of, because I know people who will not, if y'all have a falling out or a disagreement or some shit happen between y'all, they won't go off on you in a boisterous type public way, but they'll do little slick side, undercover, underhanded shit behind your back. You know what I'm saying? And then say, oh, well, you know, it wasn't really me, it was them. You know, like for instance, I had a friend. I had some friends, and I had a friend who was dating this guy, okay? And these other two friends, separate from this other friend, apparently she liked the guy. And she knew full well that the guy was messing with somebody else, but she didn't care. She wanted the guy for himself. So she befriended me under the guise of trying to get to know me, but she really kept trying to feed for information to see how serious the relationship the guy was with my other friend, so she could slid in where she fit in. You know what I'm saying? Stupid stuff like that, you know? And it didn't work out for either one of them, because either one of them don't have them today. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like when you do stuff underhanded, it's gonna come back. That's the same thing with throwing a rock and hiding your hand. Or for instance, if your friend got an issue with you and you sitting in mixed company with other people, and somebody is talking about that so-called friend that you had a falling out with, and you don't defend that friend in any way, shape, or form. The same with how with Porsha and Shereé. When somebody said something about Phaedra, Porsha was like, oh no, don't be talking about her like that. You should not be saying stuff like that. Oh, you shouldn't be repeating that, because whatever conversation y'all had between y'all two should have stayed between y'all two. Now, when it came down to Shereé, when they was talking about Shereé, Porsha kept her mouth closed. Why is that? You know what I'm saying? How do you defend one friend but don't defend the other? And it's the same thing with Phaedra. Phaedra keeps saying, and she could say whatever she want to say, she's perpetuating this nonsense with Johnny because she mad with Candy, and she gonna get back at her by any means necessary. You know what I'm saying? But in a way that kind of like shadows her involvement, but not really. You know, if you get my point. And so, you know, it's just, it's kind of messed up. And in the end, they gonna get her ass back, because when they had that event, Apollo's new woman shows up, and guess who introduced him? Todd, Candy's Todd. So everybody is like low-key getting back at each other. You do one thing to me, oh, you gonna mess with Johnny and entertain his nonsense? Okay, cool. So the next outing that we have, I'm gonna bring Apollo's new woman around. Grow up. Grow up. Y'all need to grow up. Like, we're talking about people in their 40s now. Like, grow up. Like, who the hell has time for that? Clearly they do. But anyway, that is it for my review. I decided to go on ahead and do the review in the car, since I had a lot, you know, my natural light is kind of popping. You know, it's hard to film in my house because I have no natural light, and I can't really open up the curtains and everything, because my neighborhood is, I live in the ghetto, and I just can't do that because I want everybody in my house. So yeah, I'll be doing them in my car, my new vehicle from now on, because, you know, the natural light is nice, and, you know, I'm in an area where it's like, you know, nobody's around to sit there and stare and try to figure out what you're doing. But anyway, if you enjoyed this view, give it a thumbs up, like, share, and I will see you guys in the next review. Peace and hair grease. Bye.